Here, well, this will happen because the date is fixed in the calendar. But until then, what happens then here? Until then, what happens? In the meanwhile, what happens? You see, you have already fixed the date here. Yes, tomorrow you are going to have a wonderful feast. But in the meanwhile, am I going to starve? Am I going to suffer? I am going to make struggle all the while. Here, meanwhile, at the spirit's opposite pole, the inconscient, in the mystery of the deeps that God has built, in the mystery, God's mystery, why He has created hell, why He has created inconscience, why He has created a void, that is a mystery. In the mystery of the deeps that God has built, for He is above, below the thinker's side. He has built that is His own abode, this void, in this compromise of a stark, absolute truth, with the light that dwells near the dark end of things, with the light that dwells near the dark end of things. It is there, Mr. Talking. In this tragic comedy, your divine disguise, He has put on that mask Himself, and therefore the constant play of joy and sorrow, tragic and comedy, it goes on constantly. Tragic comedy of the divine disguise. Tragic comedy is important. See, in fact, what does a tragedy do? Comedy, all right, divine comedy, there will be all that kind of thing. But what about tragedy? Tragedy more belongs to the Greek spirit, Greek psychology. And every year there used to be the festival of Dionysian, and used to enact new plays, new dramas. Every year the creators will come and present their creations on the festival day like that. So the tragedies have come there. Now, in the joy of celebrating Dionysus, you have got a tragic scene there, gripping, and the purpose, the people are there all around sitting in the arena there and watching the drama, the movements of that thing, the we, the crime. Now it is there with a certain purpose. It is a process of purification. Tragedy is a process of purification by which you remove all that is tragic, sorrowful from you. You vent it out, you empty out yourself of the tragic thing. So that is the purpose of a tragedy. In other words, what the Greek theory says, it is a process of catharsis. Catharsis, purging out which is harmful, which is dangerous, which is sorrowful, which is sad. You have to purge it out, catharsis. So, the tragedy is actually a process of catharsis for this purpose. So, although He has created this thing, this tragedy He has created for a certain purpose. Comedy He has created so that now with that catharsis, that purification will appear a proper divine manifestation, joyous, happy, beatitude, bliss, you will come here. So, without tragedy, you cannot have comedy. Tragedy has to precede comedy, so that you have a complete freedom from all these suppressed things which are present in you. In this tragic comedy, your divine disguise, He has put on the disguise, He has accepted the conditions of the void of inconscience. Divine disguise, this long, far seeking of joy, ever near, yes? It looks very close, but it is very far away also, and the other way around. And the grandiose dream of which the world is made with a grandiose dream. Yes, this will happen. That comedy is there. Divine beatitude will be there. And this gold dome on a black dragon base, in his gold dome. Suddenly the poetry has become slightly different, you see. In the grandeur dream of which the world is made, in his gold dome on a black dragon base, black dragon, the inconscience. That is foundation. That is inconscience, that is foundation. And on this dragon is built a gold dome. So, if black dragon is the tragedy, gold dome is the comedy. In this gold dome on a black dragon base, actually in other places, Savitri, you have got the dragon of the dark foundations. The dragon of the dark foundation. In book 3, canto 4, the Divine Mother is telling the conditions of here. What are present here? The dragon of the dark foundation. The Sphinx, the little Sphinx is there. The night is there. She is specifying all the things. The dragon, the Sphinx, the night in canto 4, the vision of the moon. They are present here, and Ashwapati is asking something else without recognizing the presence of the dragon, the Sphinx, and the night here, something. And he says, you are in great haste. That's what he was telling you, see. She says, the entire creation is based on the dragon of the dark foundation keeps the entire universe. In fact, this phrase, dragon of the dark foundation, is a Vedic phrase. In the Rig Veda, it is described as the dark foundation. Dark. I mean, the entire lower creation here, the ignorant creation here, the inconscient creation is based on this dark dragon. And she is the foundation of this darkness you will see. So, this has many echoes like that, and you can also see the poetry is different. In the grandeur dream, the way the world is made, and this gold dome on a black dragon base, it is most realistic. This line is so realistic than mere description. The conscious force that acts in nature's breast. See, it is she who is working constantly. That again, he is going back to that conscious force which is there. See, that acts in nature's breast. The dark-robed laborer in the cosmic scheme. Now, this conscious force is actually a dark laborer in the cosmic scheme. She is the dark laborer in the cosmic scheme. Carrying clay images of unborn gods. She is carrying toys, small clay images like that. This is Vishnu, this is Mahesh, this is small clay images of unborn gods. They are not taken birth yet also, you see. So, it is her work. In a word, it is she who is molding these gods here, out of the clay. She is doing that kind of work all the while here. The dark force, the conscious force that acts in nature's breast. Well, this is most important. It is because of that, because she is working there in nature's breast, because of that, things are unfolding. The evolution is going on. Otherwise, nothing would have happened. Yes, there is superconscious, there is inconscious. So what? They remain static realities. If they had to have some kind of an activity, some dynamism, then it is the force which alone works. Now it is the conscious force which is really working in both the places. Here, in nature's breast, she has put on a dark robe. Here she has put on a dark robe of inconscience, of night. A dark robed laborer in the cosmic scheme, carrying clay images of unborn God. What a beautiful image. Carrying clay images, sarcastic also to some extent, you see. Carrying clay images of unborn God. Executrix of the inevitable idea. Executrix. That is the feminine of executor. Directrix, director. Executrix, executor. Creatrix, creator. This is the feminine part of it. Now, that executrix, of course, stands here for the conscious force. Stands for the conscious force. Executrix, or the inevitable. She is an executor of what? Of the idea which must come into expression. She is executing what? The idea is present. Yes, I have created with an idea, this inconscience. So that idea has to express itself also, and she has to work out that kind of thing. She is the executor. Executrix of the inevitable idea. What is that inevitability? Yes, it must happen. It is seeded in the seed or in these things of, in the entire process of things. A new creation, a marvelous creation is seeded there already, is present there, is inevitable. Supramental descent is decreed and inevitable. That you are able to write in that little book, The Mother. The supramental descent is decreed and inevitable. So that inevitable idea is there, that decreed is there already. But who is going to execute that? Decreed and inevitability is all right. That idea is there, but who is going to execute? It is this conscious force who is going to execute. The power that mediates between the high and the low. It is she who is going to execute that kind of a thing. Carrying the clay images of unborn idea, executing so the inevitable idea, hampered, enveloped by the hoops of fate, hampered, enveloped by the hoops of fate. Who is hooped? Who is enveloped? She, executrix. She is hampered. By whom? By fate. Because she has accepted this condition. She is a laborer in the cosmic scheme. Enveloped by the hoops of fate. Hoops of fate. You know the hoops of fate, no? Hoop. On the barrels, they put steel bands to tighten all the portions of the wood, you see. Keep on tightening with that. That is the hoop. On the hoops of fate. Enveloped. So then that barrel is ready to contain wine, you see. Liquid tight. It cannot leak out from that thing at all. You keep on tightening in such a way that it will absolutely, otherwise there is no glue at all in between. No. Hampered, enveloped by the hoops of fate, patient, trustee of slow, eternal time. She is a trustee of eternal time. Yes, she is working through the time. She patient. Why she is patient and she is working? In eternal time. Why she is working? Because in eternal time, a date is already fixed. There is already a promise. A date in the calendar of the known is fixed. A date in the calendar of the known is already fixed. And therefore she works for that. She is aware of that thing. And therefore she is willing to accept all the difficulties, the whole process. Absolves from hour to hour her secret charge. She is constantly working for that. All she foresees in mass imperative depths. She sees these things. She is the conscious force. She sees these things here. Foresees in mass imperative depths. The dumb intention of the unconscious gull. Answers to a will that sees upon the height. Answers to a will that sees upon the height. And evolving words, first syllable, the evolving words, evolving word. The logos which is working here. Om, which is uttered here. It is that Om which is manifesting here. The first syllable, that is first syllable. Answers to the will that sees upon the height. Who sees upon the height? That will. And the evolving words, first syllable, ponderous brute sense contains its luminous close. See, when there is that a word, utterance, Om is there, well, it knows also that it is working for something to happen here. Ponderous brute sense contains its luminous close. Privy to a summit victory's vast descent. Yes, she is seeing, ultimately that victory is there. Summit's victory is there. She is privy to that. And therefore she is constantly working also. She foresees that. See, she foresees, she is privy to the summit's victory, that it is going to happen here, and the portent of the soul's immense surprise. So it is the soul which will definitely come up. She is the executrix. She is the one who is working out these details. So these things are going to happen. In the calendar of time of the unknown, the date is already fixed. But here, in the meanwhile, her slow eternal time, her work is going on, also is constantly. So this is what the executrix, the dark robed laborer, the conscious force which is the dark laborer here is working here. She is working where? In nature. In other words, the Supreme Shakti is working in nature here. The Para Shakti, the Supreme Shakti, Para, Supreme Shakti, is working in the Apara Shakti, Apara nature, the lower nature, constantly. And it is a tragic comedy of the divine disguise, you see, with the light that dwells near the dark end of things, for his abode below thinker's sight. What a sentence this is. Here, meanwhile, at the spirit's opposite end. So what is going to happen at the opposite end? She is working up here. From above the potencies are waiting, etc., etc. Now he is giving the picture from below. Here, meanwhile, at the spirit's opposite pole, in the mystery of the deed that God has been, for his abode below the thinker's side, in this compromise of a stark absolute truth, with the light that dwells near the dark end of things, in this tragic comedy of divine disguise, this long fast seeking for joy ever near, in the grandiose dream of which the world is made, and is gold on a black dragon bane, the conscious whole that acts in nature's brain, a dark-robed laborer in the cosmic scheme, carrying clay images unborn God, executrix of the inevitable idea, hampered, enveloped by the hoops of fate, patiently the slow eternal time, absolved from hour to hour, her secret charge. So she is there, she is absolving herself from hour to hour constantly. All she foresees in mass imperative the dumb intention of the unconscious girl, answers to a will that sees upon the high and evolving whose first syllable, ponderous brute sense, contains this luminous glow, privy to a summit victory's vast descent and potent to the soul's immense uprising. So this is now how he has introduced this conscious force working in nature's breast here under this condition, and how things are going up. So from the spirit's potencies are working, now how the nature is working. In other words, this whole description is now heading towards the dynamics of Purusha and Prakriti in this creation. Purusha and Prakriti. How the Purusha is working, how the Prakriti, how the Purusha has accepted the slavery of Prakriti in this creation and allows her to do whatever she wants to do here. He has withheld himself completely, the Purusha, and allows Prakriti to come. Because it is Prakriti who has to come here. Behind this Prakriti, it is conscious force which is trying to lift up the entire thing. So here, the secret knowledge, what we have got here, is actually the Armandonian presentation of Sankhya Yoga, Sankhya philosophy, Sankhya system. Sankhya system, the classical Sankhya system, deals entirely with Purusha and Prakriti. So how the Purusha and Prakriti, you have got one end, this one, the other end is here, Sankhya Purusha, how that coming here. So the whole secret knowledge which we have got here is essentially the presentation of Shivendu's view on Sankhya philosophy itself. The Sankhya Yoga system itself is completely. We have got Purusha Prakriti. In fact, that is what we got in the next session. All here where each thing seems lonely are figures of the soul transcendent one. A playmate in a mighty mother's game. You see, he becomes a playmate now in her game. You see, Purusha is under the dominance of Prakriti. That is what it means, you see. The soul is subject to Prakriti, nature. Purusha Prakriti. So revise your Sankhya Yoga and in the essays on the Gita, there is a long, good, beautiful description in a couple of chapters about Sankhya Yoga. But this is synthesis of a different kind altogether.